Hey everybody, it's Lewis Porter Jr. It is Thursday the 10th? 10th, I believe? It is the 10th, I think. I guess. I don't know. And driving to work, I know it's kind of strange. You can actually see me because I'm driving to work later than normal. So, what is going on in the world of Kickstarter? I'll tell you what's going on. Tons of stuff. Tons of people are doing Kickstarter. Kickstarter. And we're not even talking about Bones. I mean, Bones still has, what, I think like 15 or 20 more days to go. It's 1.54 million it's made so far. You know, everybody's wondering, will it break its old record? You know, I'm just like, hey, Bones is going to make a bunch of money. I'm not worried about them. Then we've got more Pathfinder stuff coming out. A new one doing, was it Waxia? And I pronounce it wrong, but I call it Wire Fu. That's what I'm calling it. That's coming. That's already just started yesterday. Yesterday, the day before, and they hit their number. I also supported that one because I'm interested in some cool kung fu action for Pathfinder. You know, monks rule the world. Monk alchemist. Boom. Call it done. It's over. That's the way you do it. So that's kind of cool. What are the cool? Oh, our buddies over at Legendary Games, of course, doing theirs. I believe they have 6 or 5 days left. I think they're at least halfway through. And I think they've made a little bit more than half the money they need to raise. So it looks like they're pretty much on schedule. They're going to get their number. So, yeah, not really surprising. They did an interview. I can't remember the interviewer's name. It was a podcast I'd never seen before. It's the first time I saw it. So I was like, oh, my. So I watched it, and it's Rachel and it's Jason. They're talking about doing the 15-day Kickstarter and how innovative it is. And people are saying, oh, it's really, really innovative. So now, hey, Rachel, this is the part that I was talking about. This right here. This is the part that I was really surprised with. People were all excited about the 15-day Kickstarter, and it might be a new revolution about that. Here's the reason why I am kind of fundamentally against a 15-day Kickstarter. And this is something I learned while reading a lot of stuff on Mashable about Kickstarter and just reading a lot of just the pure number stuff, not just the gaming stuff, just the pure numbers and the math behind it. I guess the last poll they really did was in 2010 or 2009, 2010, I believe. I think it's 10. They said that, typically how long a typical Kickstarter should last was 35 days. You had a better chance of being successful if it was 35 days. If it was 42 days or more, you had a large chance of failing, which I thought that was very interesting. But one of the things that they were talking about, going this whole list of stuff that I thought was very interesting but very smart, and I think people have forgotten, this whole 15-day Kickstarter sounds really great until you really look at the calendar and notice something really simple. It's something that most people don't think about. All right, generally, most people, now you say most people, I'm going to say Americans in this, get paid, every 2 weeks or twice a month. That's pretty standard, and that's pretty typical. With that said, if you do a 15-day Kickstarter, and let's just say the Kickstarter starts on, let's say it starts on the first day of the month. First 15 days, you might get the second pay period. You probably, either get paid, it's either first day of the month, first day of the month, middle of the month, it all depends. But you may only get like one of the person's pay cycles, that I would say. Now, if they ran a 20-day one, or, a 25-day one, or I even say 30 at the most, you could possibly get 2, even possibly 3 of the person's pay period attempts. So, for example, I'll use January, February, March, because that's one of my favorites, because February has 28 days. All right, 28 days, that means you get 2 pay periods really in there. If you do a 35-day one, or even a 30-day one, you'll get a little bit of January and a little bit of March. Well, depending on how the pay period falls, you might get 2 pay periods, or you might get 3. And realistically, your first paycheck, I think most people agree with, the first paycheck you get of the first one of the month, that's the one for your really, really important bills. I mean, like, that's your rent check, or one of them is, well, it could be depending where you are, but I'd say the first one or the middle one is for your rent check, it's for your car payment, it's for the things that are really vitally important for you to continue eating, surviving, and living. And the other paycheck you get is a little bit more the fun paycheck. Just depending when you get it, it doesn't matter. But, first one is for business, second one's for pleasure. So, I don't think you want to miss an opportunity where you can get people to choose what check it was. And the 15-day one made it very difficult, I thought. Because what if you didn't get paid, what if you didn't get paid to, the 30th? And it's you get paid last day of the month. You run a Kickstarter, starts the 15th. You only get, the one paycheck. But somebody says, well, maybe I'll put it in. But what if they don't have the money? So I think, if it had been 20 days, you'd have gotten both cycles, no problem. And it's minor. It's a minor thing, but it's kind of something to think about. When people get paid can affect when you're going to get your money and when you're going to get the best, bang for your buck for your Kickstarter. Another thing that I learned, a good day to start a Kickstarter is on a Tuesday. And I kept thinking, well, what's the big deal about a Tuesday? Well, Tuesday is really the big news release day for a lot of the news. Whether it be, basically any field, but Tuesday is the big push day. And we all know in the gaming and comic, it's Wednesday is when the new book's released. So Tuesday, people are hyping up the books for Wednesday. Makes a lot of sense. It's kind of that way. Gaming, Friday release, I think that's, but I think it's true. You want the product in by Friday so you can sell over the weekend. That's the thing with that. But Tuesday, I think, is a great starting day. And I think Tuesday is even a great ending day because that last day, you're going to be pushing out stuff. Hey, this Kickstarter ends at, 11:59 tonight. Please support us. We're going to be here. And that last Tuesday, or even that last Monday and Tuesday, you can still hit the press groups and hit the news reels and get that information out to them so they can promote you. So you can have that big end burst at the end. And I don't deny it. During the start of the Kickstarter is exciting, the end of the Kickstarter is exciting. In the middle, it's a bit of a lull. And that's just the way it is. I mean, it's like it's like a U kind of. Start out great, lull, end. But that's how most things, I think, are, Starts out great, then you got to do the work. You're like, oh, God, I hate this part. And then you see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you go, hey, it's over, yay! And that's basically what they're doing then. I think, the Kickstarter they're doing makes sense. As I believe, going to print is really the way to go. But this week also, this has been a big week for me, like asking a lot of interesting questions. So on a couple of the Kickstarter forums, I've asked the question, is it better to just do an all digital release and don't do printed material? Or maybe do one piece of printed material? Because I've noticed, and a lot of people can agree with this, people have been promising Kickstarters and things they want. Like, okay, if you support our Kickstarter, you get a t-shirt, you get dice, you get a cup, you get a mug, you get all this extra stuff. That it's, I understand why you're doing it because people want extra stuff to feel they're getting more out of it. But at the same time, it increases your production cost. I said, okay, let's not do a t-shirt. Instead of us giving away a t-shirt for you, we'll add more content in the book. But get 20 more pages in the book. Well, a t-shirt would be nice, but that's going to fade and wear. You get more content in the book, that's more content. That's not a bad thing. And I kind of like that, I'm going to make your book bigger. And it's something else that someone else has tried. Another company, I think it was Troll Lord Games, they did a Kickstarter. And instead, they kept putting in more and more stuff into the book, but they didn't change the price of the book. And this book, I forgot what book it was. I mean, one of my local guys showed it to me. This book was a huge book. I mean, it felt like, 300, 400-page meaty. The book was like $20. I'm like, how is this book so cheap? They go, they made all their money on the Kickstarter, and they used that to keep the cost down. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of a cool idea. Because I mean, you buy it through the Kickstarter, you support it through the Kickstarter, the price gets up to this ridiculous amount. You get these huge, super thick books, and they put these ridiculous prices on them because they've got to make money because they got to print the book. But if you thought of, hey, we're going to lower the price of the book if you do this, so people who didn't go to the Kickstarter can still get it at a pretty reasonable price, and we can get it out to more people. That's a kind of a cool way to look at it. I've been thinking about that for the monster book, that the Codex Torment. But I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of like well, what if you don't make the money? But at the same time, it's still kind of cool though. You can keep the cost relatively low if you do it right. So, I might be dabbling in that one. That one might be one of those. I think we're gonna just start doing that. We make a certain level. We're gonna reduce the book by X dollars. Another level, we're gonna reduce the book by another X dollars, and just keep doing that. It's tough when you don't know how the size of the book's going to be. I've guesstimated based on the information I have, and what I think it's going to be, and what you think it's going to be, and what it is, usually kind of close. But I think it might be possible to do that. I think it might be very, very possible to give out, really cool rewards in the way of we're lowering costs to acquire the book for other people. Because, as much as I might like a book, if the book comes out and I get a copy, don't get me wrong, I get a PDF copy. I'm a PDF guy. Everybody knows it. I like buying PDFs. I'll get a PDF copy of the book, no big deal. The actual book cost might be $40, but I don't want to pay $40 for it. But I just, I like something lower. I'm cheap. If the publisher can, offset the cost of having to raise it so high because he's got to make these great margins, if you can offset it in the way that, hey, I've already made the money up front, and, printing is relatively inexpensive, whatever that really means. If I can keep the cost down, and maybe I don't do a hardcover, because everybody knows my feeling about hardcover being $6, that's just silly. If you don't know, most hardcover books add $6 to the retail cost of a book, because the cover themselves cost $6 to make. It's quite expensive to put a hardcover on an actual book. That's why I'm very big on softcover, keep the price low, everyone's happy. And I mean, yeah, people like hardcover, but I think it just adds weight to the book when it doesn't really need to. And would you rather have a $35 hardback book that could have been a $20 softcover book? I mean, to me it's simple, but some people just like hardcover. But I digress. I think getting good pricing, and that's another thing. The elasticity of price. Here it goes again. Looking at the price of stuff and looking at how you can bend it, twist it, stretch it, manipulate it in different ways that it makes it more effective for everybody. I think that kind of stuff doesn't get done much in this industry. It's like, okay, I think the closest thing I've seen to that as of today has been what RPG Now has done, pay what you want, which I think is a great idea. Hey, you want to pay what you want? Great. You think the book is worth $5? Pay $5. You think the book is worth $1? You pay $1. You don't think the book's worth anything? You don't pay anything. But I think people generally don't mind having the option. Because look, there's been tons of research on what people pay for a product. If they're fans, they're going to probably pay a little bit more. If they don't know you, they probably pay a little less. But in the long run, you're going to get a good average, and everyone is going to probably be happy. The price can be very, very elastic. At least I know with PDFs, because it takes the printing calculation out of it. When you print a book, that's the problem. You print a book, you ship it, you do all. There's so much added cost to doing that. And me as a publisher, I don't want to add cost to a product. I want to lower costs. I want to make sure costs are, so you can get the book for a really good price. And you'll buy from me again, but you're like, wow, that was a good product. It was, those margins are great. Well, you don't say margins. I'll say margins are great. But it's like, you want to get the cost down. It's all about getting the cost down. That is the ultimate focus of any good company. Get the cost down. When the cost is down, you'll be happy. Trust me. When the cost is up, you will not be happy at all. Your loved ones will not be happy. The people that care about you will not be happy, because you're going to be angry. And that's the exact opposite of happy. So just think about ways you can do that. But also, since I've digressed all the way over here to elastic pricing, if you get a chance, go by MakeMyGamesLegendary.com. They have a video for both theirs and the one from Demiplane of Gaming, which I haven't seen that one yet. I've got to watch that one today at work. See? When I should be, working, I'm watching videos. But, it doesn't matter. I put headphones on, boom, put the video in small, I don't actually look at it, just hear it. There you go. So those two videos I know are up on the website for there at Legendary Games, so check those out. Let me see, what other really, we released a couple of products. We released two products in the last 2 weeks, now 3. We released, more of our Adventure Path Iconics. We did the Pirate one, and that was a big turn. Released the Pirate one, and released the Winter one. I'm working on the Shattered one right now. Plus, I'm working on Obsidian Apocalypse's Iconics, which we'll be using also for Gothic settings. So that one is pretty close to being, well, what's left? What are I gonna do? I think the editor has to work, and the editor has to come back and give me some stuff, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close to being done. So there you go. And I am almost at work. Ta-da! Well, thank you as always for taking this lovely drive with me. I mean, not really took it, kind of hostage as I'm driving along. Really, cars? Really? Oh my god. So, like I said, I think it's going to be another great week of Kickstarter stuff. I think there's good stuff that you could be out there supporting. There's new stuff always coming out to support, so go out there and support Kickstarter. Support those guys who are making good stuff. Support your friends. You know, Kickstarter's great. We all agree it's great. We love it. I think it's my last little bit of promotion for me. I'm working on. Oh look, my boss is here. I'm working on the last little bit of Obsidian Apocalypse. That looks like crap. Just missed the park. That is going along very well. And like I said, now we're waiting for 7 monsters and Owen K. Stevens stuff, and that's it. So it's going good. It's going good. I'm very happy with it. All right, I'm getting out of here. I got a long day at work. Talk to y'all later.